Every city has to deal with what it leaves behind. The garbage, the yard waste, the construction debris. It all has to go somewhere. And in Kelowna, that somewhere is the Glenmore Landfill. But the operations here aren't simple. And sometimes the job means facing challenges no one expected. This isn't just about today's waste, it's about managing a resource that needs to last for generations. And it takes a dedicated crew to keep it all operational, day after day, layer after layer. It's morning at the Glenmore Landfill. All is quiet, for now. But the city's waste doesn't wait, and neither do the crews. Minutes after opening, a steady line of vehicles forms at the scales.
This is the first point of contact for customers coming in. They come onto the inbound side and we get their license plate before they drive up and ask them what they're bringing out and weigh them.
Recent upgrades have made the scale house more efficient and safer. On average, nearly 450 tons of waste come through these gates every day.
We used to give out cards. Some people would just forget about the cards and they would drive home. But now everything's connected to your license plate. So if you accidentally leave or something like that, we'll have you in at the end of the day. It's a good thing because then we know when people have left, just to site safety. So we know at the end of the day if there's anybody on site besides us too as well.
At nearly 200 hectares in size, the Glenmore Landfill isn't just for Kelowna. It's the hub for the entire central Okanagan. From Lake Country to Peachland, all waste comes through here. For the some 80,000 residents hauling in their own waste, most are directed to the bin area, where materials are sorted by type.
This is our metal bin. If you have any metal, we don't want it in the regular garbage. We like it in the metal bin so that it can go to the recycling.
Every item diverted means less buried waste. Recovery is key. More than 30% of what arrives at the landfill is recovered and recycled. Things like drywall, concrete, scrap metal, and yard waste.
The mattress bin over here, we also recycle the metal out of the spring mattresses. You put your mattress in here and we take it down further into the landfill and we have a guy that pulls the mattresses apart, takes out the springs.
Once full, these bins are hauled away to the active face, where massive machinery with landfill-specific GPS take over.
We have the dozer, which is on the left-hand side. That's used to push the garbage out into a lift about 2 feet thick. It does the heavy pushing around the active face of the site. The compactor, what it does is it does the heavy crushing. So it's designed to put as much pressure on the garbage as possible. And the drums that are on there have significant teeth on it so that it tears the garbage apart, shreds it up a little bit, and then pushes it down and makes it as dense as possible.
Garbage builds up layer by layer. The deepest fill is 35 meters, or as tall as a 10-story building. But with height limits in place, every bit of compaction counts.
What a landfill sells is we sell air. And the more efficiently we can get the garbage into that airspace, the longer we'll be able to operate the site, the more cost effective we'll be in the long term, and the longer we'll have the site as an asset for the city.
As waste settles and begins to break down, a different kind of work begins beneath the surface.
As the organics in a landfill degrade, the bacteria that's in there eat up all the oxygen, and then once there's no oxygen left, instead of creating carbon dioxide, they create methane.
That has to be controlled and dealt with because it presents health and safety concerns, it presents environmental concerns.
Buried beneath the waste, over 25 kilometers of pipe collect the methane, known as landfill gas, before it escapes into the atmosphere.
We are sucking gas out of the landfill, yes.
That gas is diverted to a central system, where much of it is sold to FortisBC and upgraded into renewable natural gas. Glenmore is one of only a handful of landfills in the province where methane is captured like this.
They remove some of the impurities in the gas and they create pipeline spec natural gas out of the landfill gas.
If FortisBC can't take the gas, the landfill turns to its backup, burning off excess methane through the flare station. Each gas well is checked monthly, measuring pressure, flow, and quality.
This is analyzing the gas that's in this wellhead, so lets me know how well this well is doing and if I need to make any adjustments to it, depending on how much methane and how much carbon dioxide are in it. See if we have any sort of blockage going on here.
Low pressure at the well means something's wrong. Somewhere in the system, the flow has been disrupted.
It might actually indicate an issue deeper down in the system. We might have a plug.
Left unchecked, a plug can turn dangerous, causing gas to build up beneath the surface.
So I'm going to adjust this dial and we'll see if I can get this differential pressure within a range where I want to see it. Yeah, and it did move, so that's good. That looks better. Yeah, that looks better. So let's go with that.
From pressure readings to flare backups, it's a finely tuned system, but it's fragile. Something like a tossed battery can spark serious threat.
Lithium batteries and car batteries are one of the biggest headaches for landfills and material recovery facilities. When they get damaged in the system, they can start fires quite quickly.
Fires caused by batteries are a constant risk, but they pale in comparison to what happened in 2023, when the Glenmore Landfill was under direct threat from a massive wildfire.
In August 2023, when the fires were happening in West Kelowna, on the Thursday night we get a phone call that it's jumped the lake and it's headed towards the landfill. We moved as much equipment as we could to areas that were on rock or on soil to isolate them. And then we started working real heavily on getting the entire active face covered with soil for the entirety of that morning. There was embers the size of cell phones on fire landing 800-900 meters away from the fire itself.
As the fire closed in, the order to evacuate was given. The risk, too high. All crews could do was brace for what might come next.
It was thick smoke, you couldn't see the sun. It was that orangey kind of almost apocalyptic glow. So this entire side slope was on fire as we were evacuating. I was thinking about, is this going to be the landfill shut down for 2 or 3 years?
A landfill fire can smolder underground for years. That worst case scenario was top of mind as crews fought to keep the flames out. The following day, teams returned to assess the damage.
We had a pretty significant amount of damage done to the site. We lost about a third of our landfill gas system. We were operating at probably about 2/3 of our normal flow rates during that period. So we were able to get that back up and running in just over a year with the redesign, the reconstruction, and a slow tap back into the system as a phased approach to get that back up and running.
The fire left behind $1.6 million worth of damage. But despite that, the 1-week closure was a best case outcome. At the yard waste pile, 18-year landfill veteran Dennis Goulet inspects a fresh drop-off, soon to be ground into compost.
I walk around, make sure that the piles are clean, no plastic, no metal. Metal is very bad for our grinders. They can destroy their machine with a heavy gauge metal. And when you grind all the plastic in there, it goes into the composting, which is no good for us. So more green in there, the better.
With the pile cleared of contaminants, Dennis climbs into the loader and stacks the pile higher, making space for what's next.
We have more customer coming in and lots of volume here, so it's important to keep on top of all our piles so people can come in and the next people come in and do their next load.
After grinding, the organic material is moved to an on-site facility where it's turned into compost. Compost has always been produced by nature, but at the Glenmore Landfill, the process is sped up by controlling the decomposition. This results in what's called GlenGrow compost.
This pile is composted material that's curing at the moment, and we're just waiting for it to reach maturity where we can screen it and sell it as finished GlenGrow.
It starts with 28 days on a forced air system. Then it cures on site for up to 6 weeks, regularly flipped as it compacts into a dense, finished compost.
As it composts, it really shrinks down and compacts, so you get a pretty dense product here. So we do end up flipping these 4 or 5 times as they cure to keep them aerated. And later today in the lab, I'll run that through what's called a Solvita test, which measures the aerobic properties of this, see how much oxygen and carbon dioxide is being used and given off, and that'll give us a maturity report. This will be used for homeowners, gardens, top dressing lawns, planting flowers, vegetables. A lot of it is sold bulk to a couple producers in town that do bulk soil mixes for all the gardening and landscaping yards around town. It's offsetting the cost of doing the composting process while providing a valuable product. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Even as the Glenmore Landfill manages today's waste, it's also preparing for tomorrow. In 2020, work began to create room for a new engineered liner, an essential upgrade that is part of an ongoing site development plan.
This provides us with about 6.5 or 7 years worth of airspace for the city of Kelowna and the residents of the central Okanagan to continue to have that ready access to landfill airspace.
With this investment, Glenmore Landfill will continue to evolve, ensuring that what we leave behind is managed responsibly far into the future. It's not a place we think about, but it's one we all depend on.
It's never dull. It's always interesting. You always learn something new every day. And the plan you come in with at 7 is usually done by 7:05 and you're on to plan B or C by then.
No matter what's thrown at them, from pressure drops underground to fire in the sky. It's not just a place where waste ends up, it's an essential service, a critical piece of city infrastructure, managed, maintained, and protected by an amazing team. Because what we throw away still needs to go somewhere, and someone makes sure it does, safely, responsibly, and with the future in mind. So that decades from now, this place will still be doing its job, thanks to the people doing theirs today.